Alrighty. Okay, so you guys should be able to hear me pretty well now. I've went and bought a little lapel microphone, so you should be able to hear me pretty well. I hope. It's been a few days since my last video. The last video was on Saturday. I had planned to work on it more on Saturday, but rains came, and then Sunday was Mother's Day, and we had family member, and anyway, so things sort of didn't work out that way, but that's all good. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Today's Wednesday. I should be going to karate tonight, but I'm probably gonna have to give that a miss because I'm working on my knife submission. Okay, so let me show you what we're up to today. So just find something to point with. Just bear with me for a sec. There we go. There's a stick. That'll do. It's not the sharpest stick in the world. Right, so right now most people would think that that should be my knife like this. Well, that's actually the reverse. What we got is a knife. This is this clip. This is going to become a clip point, which actually comes up this way. What I'm going to do is heat this up. I'm going to concave this slightly through here. Then from about here, I'm going to bevel the edges, which means I'm going to thin this down a little bit. This is, at the moment, it's nice and thick from bringing this down. Gives me a bit of meat to work with. What that's going to do is that's going to raise, that's going to create a tip because it's going to stretch the material here, but it's not going to be stretching here. So it's going to raise that tip up. And give this nice little sweep. So that's the plan. Let's get this into the heat. Let's get this heated up. Be interested to find out how well this microphone works. This is just a cheap little microphone. It's got a little plug that goes in the base of the phone. 2 microphones for like $22 delivered on eBay. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Just need a bit more heat in that yet. Just to bring that across a bit more over here. I've got to build up my fire a bit. Some of my charcoal got a bit wet with all the rains, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes for me. Should be fine because most of the wet stuff's sitting there around the outside. I've got the dry stuff burning now. As the dry stuff's going, the wet stuff will be drying out, and I think that's why it's probably looking exceptionally smoky at the moment. A lot of that's probably just steam coming off the wet stuff. Oof, 5 flies. Alright, let's see how we're going there. Alrighty. I want my rounding hammer there. Oh, geez, that firefly got me a good one on the arm there. That's why I always wear eye protection. I don't know, you probably can't see it. So, always wear your eye protection. Rule number 1, always wear your eye protection. Don't even let my kids come over and talk to me without eye protection. I actually went and bought them their own so it's a bit cold now. I actually bought them their own eyewear, their own safety glasses. Specifically, I won't even let them come within, say, 10 meters of me when I'm using a cold forge. Especially, you get all these. You probably can see all these little things coming up. I don't know. Call them fireflies. Get one of those in your eyes. It's game over, man. It's blind. That eye, it's gone. So always wear your eye protection. Sorry for harping on that, but it's pretty darn important. Okay, almost got that now. I got to remember, I've got to put my ego aside a little bit, and remember, I can always file things to shape after I've finished the angle. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it now. I've got that little bit of a sweep going. So now I'm going to start beveling in underneath here, and then it's going to bring that up, okay? Probably not going to do too much more than that today. Is just refining that tip and working a little bit on the tang, and that's going to be about it. So because the rest is going to be done, you know, actually from there it's more about grinding and bevels and things. It's going to be done at the grinder. But what do they say? They say something like 1 minute at the anvil is 15 minutes at the grinder, or something like that. I believe it too, you know. And there we go. All right. So here we go. Okay. Bring that back a little bit more. Now, this is also what this is also going to do. I've got to start hammering back here a little bit more yet. What this is also going to do is give me an interesting profile where most of the blade is going to be flat, and then it's going to swell slightly towards the tip and come up. That's intentional. I could, if I wanted to, is keep it flat, or I could forge back all the way along the blade and have a big long curved blade. But Bowie knives are typically a straight blade, and that's what I'm going for. But there's an older school Bowie knife that has that sweep in the front. I think it's pretty sweet, so that's what I'm going for on this one. I just hope that the judges realise that that was intentional and don't think I've messed that up, because that's what I'm going for here. And when I submit my knife, I can't submit videos, I can only submit photos, so I can mention in there that that was intentional. All right, let's see how we go here. Make sure I get the right. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I see. Look, see how it's starting to come up. Look at that. Probably going to go about one more heat. There's quite a bit of meat on the top, so I might try and work that a little bit, and that's going to be about it. I'm going to be really pushing the parameters of the knife as it is. It's a maximum of 25 centimeters, and I'm going to be right now over the 25 centimeters, but I'm leaving some meat to be lost in the grinding as well, you know. And I've mentioned it in previous videos, and I'm going to mention it again. You've got to be really careful in a cold forge that you don't overheat your steel, because you can just cook it, you can burn it, and it's like goes kind of like charcoal. When you've burnt wood, it all sort of crumbles and falls apart. Well, I've seen steel do exactly the same thing. I was at a knife making class, and the instructor deliberately burnt a piece of steel to show it to us, and pulled it out of the fire, and it was just all these sparkles coming off it, kind of like a sparkler, like, you know, the sparklers you give kids at birthdays. Look kind of like that. Maybe not quite as much, but you know what I'm saying. And then he put it on the anvil, and the piece of metal just fell apart. Just, you wouldn't think that it does it, but it certainly does. If anybody's interested in getting into knife making, there are some excellent classes to be had around southeast Queensland. Two of the predominant ones, both of them are in Ipswich. There's a guy named Wayne Schmidt from Crack the Anvil Forge. He does really, really good fully forged knife making classes where you get in there and you forge everything. He does blacksmith blades, which means you've got the sort of the blade and then a metal handle. And then he also does, hang on a second, let me focus on this. All right. That's about all I'm going to do, guys, on that. That's it. That's all I wanted. There we go. Look at that. So starting to get that little bit of a, you look, you got that little dip just through here. That's what I was talking about. Comes across and it sort of dips a little bit, just the tiniest bit. And we've got that nice little clip point sweep. I mean, I really like that. I like that profile. Now I'm going to go through, I'm going to work on the tang. The top part's pretty good. I'm going to flatten out the bottom part through here just a little bit, mainly through there. And then I'm pretty much done with the forging. I'm going to call it at that, and the rest I'm going to do at the grinder. So this is probably the last I'm going to show you the knife until after the competition, after all the judging, because not saying anybody out there is going to be cheating, going to be copying me. I'm probably one of the least experienced and least qualified people there. But at the same token, you know, have a little bit of secrecy, man. I mean, come on. So, hey, I hope you really enjoyed that. In the meantime, I have also been requested for a video on how I make my charcoal. So that will be coming up very, very soon, possibly this weekend, depending on the weather. I definitely need to make some more charcoal. I lost a bit because of the rain. But anyway, we'll see how we go, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much, everybody, and I'll catch up with everybody soon. Thank you. Bye for now.